What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin' with the Rudes.
Hi, guys, and thanks for tuning in to the Rudes Real Review of Loki, Episode 2. The Variants.
The Variants.
You can start.
Oh, you going right into it,
guys?
Huh?
If this is your first time tuning in to a Rudes Real Review, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. If you've been riding with us all along, thank you so much. We'd love to see you in the comments. So, everybody, be sure to join in on the conversation. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, we do full-on spoilers. We go through the episodes. We don't speak to each other while we're watching the episodes. We wait to speak with you.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to hear everyone's feedback on episode 2.
Okay.
So, it starts 1985 Renaissance Fair. What were your thoughts with the starting of it?
Oh, I just thought it was funny because we have Renaissance fairs here, so I thought that was hilarious.
So it was in Wisconsin, 1985, and is there a significance with that number? I was trying to rack my Avengers timeline brain. No, right?
No, not really.
Okay. And because I know that we saw D.B. Cooper in the first episode. If you haven't seen our review for that, we'll include that. And then we saw Pompeii in this episode. Yeah. I wasn't sure if 85 something historic happened then either.
No.
So
you'll probably get one historic reference per episode. Probably.
So it starts with the Minutemen looking for a split in the timeline, right? Mm-hmm. And if you guys have ever seen Utopia, that series, the woman that plays Jessica from Utopia is one of the Minutemen.
Yeah. Well, she's a hunter.
She's a hunter for the variant.
Yeah. Well, there's Minutemen, then there's hunters. It's like a hierarchy. So you got Minutemen.
So is B12? I'm sorry.
B12?
Sorry, guys. I need some B12. Is B15 a hunter?
Yes. So
then who are the Minutemen?
They're just a little help out officers. They're backup. The Minutemen are the backup. It seems like it's a hierarchy. So it seems like it's Minutemen, the hunters, I guess wherever Owen Wilson will fall.
Yeah, whatever. Agent Mobius.
Yeah, I guess an agent.
He's an agent of...
So an agent.
He's an agent of change. Agent of time.
Okay. And then you got the judges. Yeah. And then the judges, and then they answer to... which she told us.
The timekeepers.
To the timekeepers, right.
So, we see that scene, and then we see that she gets snatched. So, you see that there's another killing of the TVA, and you also see this time he actually took a hostage.
Right.
Which was the first time that was done.
Yep.
And Agent Mobius is crazy enough to bring Loki on the scene in the tent.
Yes. So Loki's in there doing his little stalling for time. Basically.
Why was he stalling?
I don't know. That's just what he does. He's always talking, want to hear himself talk. But he was giving him good information, and Mobius was going for it at first, and he's like, he's lying.
I know, but I don't understand. So here's my thing.
No, he literally is just doing that. He actually came up on something, but now he has to do a whole spiel.
But is it that Loki is always going to root for Loki?
Yeah.
So he bought that Loki, that variant, some time.
Yeah. I don't know if he did it on purpose.
I was here for the scene where they show the variations of Loki.
Yeah.
And the fact that Loki is the most apprehended variant.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he always fails. That's what Mobius told him in the first episode. You always fail.
How did you feel? And I thought it was funny. They were playing, in the intro, it was playing I Need a Hero. Mm-hmm. And, Loki's, the ultimate anti-hero. Yeah. So, I thought that was funny. But how did you feel about this episode?
I felt it was good. This is laying the groundwork. So to the previous 2 series, right? Nothing really earth-shattering happened in those series. But right off the bat here, second episode, you got him destroying the whole timeline, which could change everything, which could affect every movie from after this on.
I guess for me,
we're getting ahead of ourselves, but go ahead.
Yeah, I looking at WandaVision, looking at Falcon and Winter Soldier, and looking at Loki, right? And if we were to kind of gauge all of those episodes, and guys, we've done a review on both WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, so you can check that out. But this is second only to episode 1 of WandaVision as my least liked episode.
What? For real?
Loki.
I am shocked.
I'm going to take this all the way back. Loki was okie. I want to have the conversation with you because I think you'll shed light.
Yeah.
So when you're like, okay, this was explosive because it splits up the timeline, which definitely really leads up to
you gotta watch
Doctor Strange.
That's just
it really leads up to Doctor Strange. And then when Agent Mobius had Loki do some research, it was giving me Doctor Strange vibes. Like doing the research, Loki saw the destruction of Asgard, the 9,700 casualties. Like that scene was giving me Doctor Strange vibes. And then when you talk about the time variant, I'm like, okay, they're lining this up for Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I was excited about the thought of having multiple Lokis. I was impressed by the way his mind works. Right? And I guess if you're chasing yourself, right, it's going to hit different.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I won't be seen if I do something Loki-ish right before a catastrophic event. And so let's prove it. And, Agent Mobius is like, listen, I'm not taking you to Asgard so that you can run off. And he's like, no, we could use any time. So they used the volcanic eruption of Pompeii. And before it took off, Loki spoke in their native tongue.
Yep.
And was like, hey, you know what? Everything's falling apart, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't read
nothing spiked
on Agent Mobius's radar.
Right.
So I thought, okay, you know what? Loki,
because that Pompeii gets wiped out anyway. So that's the that's the thing.
So I thought that was very interesting. I thought them sitting down and kind of hashing it out afterwards was interesting. And kind of like Loki giving him information, but also Loki trying to get to know him better when he was asking about the jet ski.
Oh, yeah, because Loki, when they show him in his regular clothes sitting at the desk with Miss Minute going over the training.
We've all been there, guys, with training.
I believe he's sitting at Mobius's desk. So that's Mobius's magazine. Yeah.
Yes, he saw the jet ski magazine and wanted some more information.
Yeah.
There was a scene of Agent Mobius and the judge before then.
Yes.
Did you? I didn't get anything from it.
Man.
And guys, I seriously.
All right, so here's the thing.
I've never felt so out of sync. Except for episode 1 of WandaVision.
Yo, you know why? I think some of this is really getting to, if you haven't read the comic books, this is all new. It's not putting it together for you like how the original Avengers movies and everything, like stuff started coming together and you're like, oh yeah, I see this coming, right? So the judge, she is, and I'm about to get my Deron Lee bag here, but she is, who's Jonathan Majors playing? I forgot. Kang.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, she loves Kang the Conqueror.
And I know that like the crazy thing is that one of the timekeepers looks like Jonathan Majors. So he looks like Kang, and she's sitting right.
So when he asked, when Mobius asked, how are the timekeepers doing? She looks right at the one that looks like Kang.
Okay.
Right? And was like, oh, they're doing fine. So that was a little something I seen there. Also, remember, he signed his name with the pen.
Yeah.
And was like, I didn't bring this back. Where did this come?
Yes.
To me, that gotta be Kang, right? He's a time traveler.
Okay, so I know that she collects a lot of trinkets.
She said it was a different agent, but he's like, what other agent would it be? You know what I mean?
So, okay, so then that makes sense because I know he was like, I closed all these cases. I should have the trinkets.
Right.
And it looks like she collects them. So
and she looks like she has some extra ones that he didn't collect. So he's like,
so maybe those were tokens of affection from Kane the Conqueror?
Possibly. So, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but they kind of...
Is the judge corrupt?
Right. Well, it's TVA as a whole. Is that not a good thing? You know what I mean? Like the timekeepers, they're who are they to say them? Yeah, who are they to say what needs to happen?
I think the crazy thing is that they're super just black and white with things.
And they're killing people for real. If you think about it, when they destroy a timeline, everybody with that timeline dies.
Every day, B.
All right, I'm just letting you know, though. I'm just letting you know.
Listen, they call it killing time for a reason.
Yeah, they definitely doing that.
You're killing time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just shed some light on the scene with him and the judge. So I definitely will have to watch it again because at the time, it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. Like, as you mentioned, maybe I am spoiled by the MCU, but you know what? Get a ribbon. Put a bow on it for me.
No, I need it neat. It'll come back later. You ain't got to know about it now, but when you come back at the end, you go back to episode 2, you're gonna be like, oh man, this is crazy.
I hope so because then they end up in Haven Hills in Alabama in 2050 at a rocks cart, right?
Yep.
Which is the equivalent of
what?
Pixar by and large, right?
Yeah, which is like by and large when it comes to SpiderMan. That's why I wear my Peter Parker shirt. But rocks, yeah. See, I'm just like, MCU. I do what I do. I hide little Easter eggs myself.
Listen, I will tell you this. So, watching them go into that mart in 2050.
It's Rocks Corp, though. They are a whole entire corporation, which... Spider-Man battles in his comics a lot. So for that to be, Rock's Cart, corporation, that ties that in too because he's going to have a lot of multiverse stuff in his.
I think this is what I was going to say. It definitely set up. So for me, Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't set up a movie. It was just really good and a good standalone.
Well, set up, your man's as Captain
America. But I think that WandaVision delved deeper into Doctor Strange, the upcoming Doctor Strange. And I feel like the Loki is dabbling in Doctor Strange and also Spider-Man.
Well, they actually switched the order too because Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be first. Which, looking back, it makes sense, right?
It definitely makes sense.
WandaVision was supposed to be next.
Yeah.
Then Loki.
So then it's like...
Yeah. It's
start to get you used to... Yeah. I mean, I thought it was... when I saw the rocks cart, I thought, man, we still have to use certain things in 2050. We haven't made any advancements. I was looking for like some futuristic stuff, but that's just me. There were some Easter eggs, though, in the store. But as soon as I got there, B-15 is like, prune any Loki you see. Right?
Yeah.
So she's like already on kill. Prune any Loki you see. After Loki already corrected them, they were discussing some of his strengths. And the transference. Or the duplicating of himself. Right? I don't think they were really listening to him. They thought they knew him better than himself. And that was the energy that it just gave me, But then it's just like next level because bad Loki presents as whoever's body they occupy.
Which is hilarious to say because Loki's already bad. So how's there bad Loki?
Worse Loki.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Wokey. So they see a guy and they're like, oh, this is him. And B-15 is caught slipping. B-15 should have never allowed that person to touch her because when that person did, Loki's energy transferred into her.
She ain't see him.
No,
Right
she
up
did.
No, she didn't.
She was walked up to him to talk to him.
No. She was talking to the real Loki.
They saw the dude. And the dude was like, I'm buying...
Oh, you mean...
Plants are 50% off.
You talking about that guy.
Yeah. So that guy is like, plants are 50% off. It's the middle of a hurricane. So you know that that's Loki trolling. Ruby
Well, she asked that too. She was like, would you say that? Is that something you would say? Or something to that effect.
Right.
Loki's like, possibly.
Yes, possibly. And so B-15, I'm sorry I keep calling her Ruby, but I'm thinking of Lovecraft Country. But B-15 gets all up in this person's personal bubble. Close enough for contact. Let's not be like B-15 as
She's
we...
probably about to erase him.
Listen, let's not be like B-15 as we are out and about as the world opens up, guys. I need my personal space. I need my bubble. Okay? I don't want to transfer anything to you. Okay? Mm-hmm. So then it was crazy then because then Loki's energy transferred to B-15. And I'm wondering, I'm like, man, I wish they would do some behind the scenes because I'm sure it's like, oh, I get to be Loki.
Yeah.
Right? So then you start to do the punchiness and the mannerisms. Yeah. Yes. And then I saw a hint of concern when the energy transferred and she passed out and Loki was like, do they die from that?
Right.
So it's crazy because Loki is so complicated.
Well, he doesn't know. He doesn't even know what...
About that power.
Yeah. Because he did do that to Hawkeye, but he used the scepter.
Yes.
Which has the Mind Stone in it. But obviously,
Loki.
he has that power.
Loki, you had it all along.
Yeah, right.
You had it all along. But I thought it was sweet because he was still concerned about B-15.
Yeah.
Which, all right, I'm not crazy about this episode, but I always love the complexity that is Loki. Because then the transfer of energy is some guy named Randy. And then it's like some big burly guy who roughs him up.
With the exception of WandaVision, have we always been let down by the second episode?
Of other series that we've watched?
No, I'm just saying the Marvel one so far.
No.
I don't know. Falcon and Winter Soldier second episode I don't think was that great.
I don't, and this might be rose-colored glasses, guys, and comment down below. I don't remember a bad Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, it was one. It was one where it was just a lot of story, no action.
That's good for me.
Yeah,
I was here for it. Action. So I don't remember a bad... And
excuse me not even for wanting action in my action show. You know what I'm saying? It's
not that... So I appreciated pieces of it, but I'm like...
Nah, you're bugging.
I don't know. Yeah, I could be. I could be. And I thought it was funny, you're the fool they sent to find me kind of energy. But then, I thought, as I'm looking around in the store, because I'm looking for Easter eggs, I saw the robotic dog. I thought of WandaVision's dog.
Oh.
We see the black and white security monitor screen that the Loki, the variant that they're chasing is looking through, which is the second time we've seen the black and white kind of screen, which I thought, is that a nod to WandaVision?
Okay.
Are they making this a thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then, did you see the SpiderMan?
Nah.
In the store?
No.
There was a SpiderMan poster in the store.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Spider-Man. I think it was an ode to Spider-Man. Normally, I don't get to see Easter eggs because I'm so honed in on the moments.
So, I did see one, and I had to research it because it was just so blatant. They were in the TVA, and you see the number 373 or 372. I think it's 372. You see 372 behind them, it's just in your face, blatant. So I'm 372. And all the rest of the floors are letters and numbers. Nothing just with numbers. That was the only one with numbers. So it goes back to when I looked it up. it means it's Thor comic book issue 372. That was the first issue of when the TVA was introduced.
I'm here for it. I thought maybe it was something about the Nightmare Department.
Nope.
No, I'm here for it. I love when they do nods to the comic book episodes.
Yeah.
Like the comic book episodes.
Yeah, so that's what that 372. But it was just in my face. I had to, like, I was like, that's so, just standing out.
Guys, apparently in 2050 we don't have updated TVs or anything. Oh. I was looking at all that stuff.
And when you see the elevator come down and that or all those levels, that's the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta. I was looking at it, I'm like, that looks familiar.
You know it.
It's the Marriott Marquis. They didn't change anything but really put the statues there.
Yeah. I mean, so guys, we have this scene of Loki and the other variant, and then boom. The other Loki reveals themselves. Were you ready?
And then remember, she was like, well, when she was in that other body, she was like, thank you for stalling for time. She was stalling, you know what I mean? Just like he be stalling. So she was stalling for time and was like, thank you.
Were you ready for Lady Loki?
Yeah, I was. I knew it was her.
How'd you know it was her? Because you saw like the hood in the first episode?
Well, in the first episode, I'm like, they're all covered up. There's no reason for a Loki to be all covered up unless they want to reveal that it's Lady Loki. Yeah.
So it was Lady Loki. Were you surprised that Loki went with her?
I was, but when he did, I was like, okay, we might be getting an Avengers Assemble of Lokis.
No.
Getting ready to happen.
No.
I'm thinking so. Or she would have killed him.
I don't know.
Yeah. They about to assemble. I
thought it was crazy though when she said this isn't about you.
Right.
Right? And then
he went with her and they're getting ready to meet up all the rest of the variants. I just think so.
There was
and they about to form a super Loki team.
I don't know. I mean, there was a scene where they it was like you saw once she left with Loki. This was the scene that was like my earth-shattering scene for me.
Okay.
Was the splits in time.
Yeah, it started tearing up everything.
Okay, so when the splits in time and
because she sent those time bombs to different places.
Titan, Vamir, Sandar, like so many places. Vormir, right? Mm-hmm. Vormir. So many different places that then I got excited. Because it was like, wait a minute. This also gives us a lot of room for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. Or as Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Mm-hmm. If you don't follow us on social media, please be sure to do so. This week we've had a Disney Bound dedicated to all things Wakanda, and we got to get our little Guardians of the Galaxy on too. Mm-hmm. So be sure to follow us at Road Trippin with the Roots on there. But I thought that was good. Do you think he followed her to apprehend her? Because I felt like he left Agent Mobius. So I don't even know how you recover that.
Okay, so knowing who Loki is, right? He's just whoever he comes in contact with, at the end of the day, he's going to betray him, right? So he's probably following her. He's going to learn a lot. He's going to actually learn how powerful he probably really is, right? So once he learns all of that, then
it hurts my heart, guys, because I really love Loki. But I also have to understand, accept, and acknowledge that Loki is for the streets.
And we're getting a season 2, so that's letting you know, like, between this season and next season and the movies that come out in between that, Loki could be weaved in and out through all of that. He's going to be the connecting tissue, which is going to be crazy.
Loki is as loyal as his opportunity.
So shout out to them for, making everybody had the lowest of lows when Thanos took Loki out. Everybody thought that was done. They thought that was the end of their favorite.
I was ready to walk out of the movie theater, guys. It is still a trigger for me. So I would prefer not to discuss it. But let's go ahead and talk about it. You don't just choke Loki out moments into a film that we were waiting for. Yeah. Everyone got dusted. Get up, Okoye. This is no place to die. And his hand disappears. It's a touchy subject. Okay, guys? Endgame, Infinity War, very touchy for me. So I am here for it. I don't know this actress that is playing Lady Loki. Yeah. She wasn't giving me Loki's presence. I love. She wasn't giving me that, but when I saw the timeline split, I'm like, oh my God.
She was being condescending and arrogant. Even in the bodies that she was jumping in, you could tell.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you this much. How excited would you be if they go to Titan? Do you think they'll do Titan?
Yo, they ain't gonna pull up on my
Guys, seriously.
They ain't gonna pull up on my old
So, Thanos is the consummate professional. So you don't know, with the exception of Gamora, you don't know much about him in the MCU. I know there's a lot about him in the comics, but for the people that are MCU people, like for them to do, I feel like Loki going to Asgard would just be too easy. Yeah. But Loki and Titan?
Nah, he ain't going.
I don't know.
Punk step up to get beat down. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that.
Guys, I will say this. Will I be tuning in next Wednesday? Yes. Wednesday is the new Friday. Do we want you to tune in? Sure. Be sure to comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts were for this episode, whether you agreed with Corey or if you agreed with me. Was it my favorite? No. But Corey did help me. So now I'm going to go watch it again, guys. Yeah. I'll definitely watch it again.
The story's being told.
Yeah, I'll watch it again with a new set of eyes. So that works. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Like this video. Share it with a friend. And a friend of a friend. And their friends. You know, domino effect. Kind of like the timeline split. Well, that's it for me. What were your thoughts? Final thoughts?
Keep tripping.
Bye, guys.